Hello and welcome back to Planet Zoo. My name is Sib and today I will talk you through one of my speed builds. Now this is my Panopeia Marine Reserve project, so for those coming to my channel looking for Antwerp Zoo or the Antwerp Zoo recreation, this is my other series, which is now officially a series because this is the second episode. Now in the first episode I made the island, I terraformed it and made a entrance area with a little boat dock and a little like restaurant type of thing. This entire island is meant as a Greek island in the Mediterranean that acts as a sort of marine reserve or a little island reserve for endangered animals or just animals in general, animals that you'd find in Greece or in Europe in general. Now this episode I am making a little beach, a little nesting beach for green sea turtles. Now green sea turtles are actually endangered or listed as endangered in Greece, and their nesting grounds in the Mediterranean are rather limited. From what I found, they are limited to Turkey and Cyprus. So now in the context of the Panopeia Marine Reserve, I'm bringing back like endangered animals to the Aegean Sea. The Greek government has set up this nice little beach for the green sea turtles to basically lay their eggs on. Now I of course have this little trail because I do want the visitors to be able to go here. Now I'll probably limit how many visitors can be on the island, so there won't be that many people to bother these sea turtles while they are nesting here, because they really need like a quiet beach away from human activity. That is why their species is also quite endangered, just because of the sheer amount of people going to beaches, going to basically exploit beaches for fun, for holidays, for other stuff. And of course these animals and sea turtles in general are rather sought after because of their meat and because of their shells, and this goes back like hundreds of years, even to the days of the explorers, the people from Europe who went out to the open ocean in search of new land. Sea turtles were actually quite good food for these people who were on the sea for a long time. They would even like stack dead sea turtles on top of each other just to have food on board and stuff like that. So this kind of hunting and feeding behavior of course meant that this species is in decline. Now you see me adding these rocks here. At first they are quite like whitish color. I changed that to be a bit darker, well, because you'll see later on I use something or I'll do something with those rocks to make this a true breeding ground, to say a true nesting area. Now of course I needed a trading center, so I added this little hut here. I don't want too much human activity on this part of the island, because of course this is a breeding ground and you won't see that many like buildings or human activity near protected breeding sites of things like sea turtles and stuff like that. But just this little hut, like in case a sea turtle would end up hurt or like wounded or something, that the zookeepers or the staff at the island have a little emergency place to take care of them. Just this little like hut, nothing special about it. Added some windows, added a corrugated iron roof, and I was thinking about like what else should I put in here in terms of decoration, but I really didn't want this to become like littered with stuff. Now I put in this elephant grass, but I removed it, as you can see here. I removed it later on because I felt like, well, this elephant grass doesn't really feel like something you'd find on this island. Or at least not here. It's more of like an inland water body that would have that kind of grass. I also added in this little car here. My reasoning being, of course, the people who work here need to get around fast if there's an emergency or stuff like that. But let's just hope that won't be necessary, that there won't be any accidents or anything of this sort. back to the beach, I wanted to make this like shipwreck to give the sea turtles some cover on the beach itself, like if they wanted to get some shade or be protected from the weather or something. Then I made all these like tiny little holes in the ground. These are gonna be the actual nests of the sea turtles. So this is where I put in these aquatic rocks, and these I made actually white. So these are basically the eggs that the sea turtles laid in these little holes they dig. Now, sea turtles reproduce every 2 to 4 years, and they actually lay 2 to 5 clutches of eggs per season. In these clutches there will be like 80 to 120 eggs, and they are basically the size of a large ping pong ball. It takes approximately 60 days for the eggs to hatch, and then you have like the famous image of all these baby sea turtles coming out of their eggs and racing to the sea, because there's a lot of danger on the shores on the beach. There's seagulls, there's crabs, there's all sorts of animals that want to eat the baby turtles. So the ones that do make it into the sea, into the ocean, after like 20 or 40 years they reach sexual maturity, and then they will go back to the beach. They will mate, and then they will go back to the beach where they were born to lay their eggs. So of course, because this is Planet Zoo, we can't really simulate all that behavior, so we'll just have permanent occupation or permanent occupants here on this little beach. But yeah, I wanted to make it as comfortable as I could for them, so I put down some like underwater foliage and stuff like that. It's all the same thing. Like, we are rather limited in terms of what we can get in terms of aquatic foliage, but yeah, I toyed around with the idea of coral reef, but I didn't want to. Didn't feel right for this Mediterranean setting. Yeah, put down another shipwreck, this time one below the sea, just to populate the seabedding. Just so the turtles have some variety in terms of like the scenery they would look at before they lay their eggs or something. But yeah, we're coming at the end of the time-lapse footage or the Speedbuild footage here. I just populated with some boar grass. I didn't want to go over the top with all the seagrass because in the end you think the tide would get rid of most of the foliage this late or this close to the beach. But because it's in a protected bay area, there'd still be like some foliage, like some seaweed, some seagrass, especially like around rocks where the water doesn't get as much as it can. Then I also built like on this little outcrop here, and this little, yeah, I don't know how to say it, like a small peninsula, but it's just a little outcrop. I made these like aquatic rocks as if it was like rubble that over the years gathered on this little piece of stone, piece of rock, and just extended the natural environment as much as I could in this for this little habitat, because I want to eventually like have the entire island look as natural as it can be, but it would of course take a long time if I had to do that in one big go. So I just like, as each episode gets on, or as each habitat gets built, I want to do a little bit of the natural environment surrounding it. I just don't want to go all in at once and then later on discover that, oh, I wanted to have like a deer habitat here or something, or I wanted to have a trail going through here, a hiking trail, just then to have to remove all of the foliage. But yeah, we are at the end of the speed build here, so let's get into some B-roll footage of our sea turtles. Now these three turtles, of course they are a bit wonky. Leaf made an amazing job of porting these over, I think from Zoo Tycoon 2. But yeah, because they are on the seal, the gray seal rig, they will display some seal behavior like you saw there. They will occasionally become bananas on the beach they will occasionally bark like seals. I don't know if that's the right term, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I'll see you in the next one, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more, or if you want to follow my Antwerp Zoo recreation. All of that is on my channel, and I hope I see you in a next video. Bye bye!